What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel, your number one spot for all things Dallas Cowboys. If you're not sitting down right now, you better grab a seat because the NFL world just got rocked. Derrick Henry has officially signed with the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, you heard me right. The king himself is now wearing the star on his helmet, and I don't think I've ever said this before, but we might actually be looking at one of the most powerful offensive moves the Cowboys have made in the last decade. This is more than just a roster addition, this is a statement. This is Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, and the Cowboys front office saying, we're going all in. And I'm going to break it all down for you, what this means, how it happened, how Henry fits into our system, and what the reaction has been from fans, players, and insiders across the league. Now let's rewind just a little. For over half a decade, Derrick Henry has been one of the most feared, respected, and frankly unstoppable running backs in the entire NFL. We're talking about a guy who rushed for over 2,000 yards in a single season. A man whose stiff arm has become legendary, turning defenders into memes. A guy who literally carried the Tennessee Titans and then most recently the Baltimore Ravens on his back. Last season with the Ravens, Henry was a beast once again, putting up well over 1,500 rushing yards and double-digit touchdowns. He didn't show any signs of slowing down, and when the Cowboys faced off against the Ravens last year, Henry made us look like a high school JV team. He tore through our defense for over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, and honestly, it was embarrassing. But apparently, that game stuck in Jerry Jones's head, because now, he's made the move to bring Henry to Dallas. For those of you who remember, there was already some buzz last offseason about Henry possibly wanting to come to Dallas. He said it himself in an interview. Dallas would have been a perfect fit, but the Cowboys never even picked up the phone. That hurt, especially because Henry is actually based in Dallas during the offseason. He's got roots here. He trains here. And he wanted to play here. Fans were begging for it to happen. Analysts were calling it a no-brainer. And yet, nothing. Dallas stayed quiet. We let Tony Pollard walk, and then basically rolled the dice with Rico Dowdle and a running back committee that never really took off. Our run game lacked explosiveness, physicality, and most importantly, identity. But now, everything has changed. The Cowboys have reportedly signed Derrick Henry to a 2-year deal worth somewhere in the ballpark of $30 million, with a solid chunk of that guaranteed. This isn't just a stopgap. This is a power move. Henry is coming in as the clear R-bone, and with the weapons we already have in C.D. Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson, and of course, Dak Prescott under center, this offense just went from dangerous to downright lethal. Picture this, it's 3 RD and 2, we're on the opponent's 10-yard line, the defense is stacking the box. And then, here comes Derrick Henry. You already know what's about to happen. He's either dragging half the defense with him into the end zone or blowing right through them. You can't teach that kind of power. You can't scheme around it. Henry forces defenses to change their entire game plan, and that is going to open up the field for everyone else on this team. And listen, let's talk fit. Some folks out there are raising questions about whether Henry will mesh well with Mike McCarthy's offensive style. They say Henry's not the best pass blocker. They worry he's not much of a receiving threat out of the backfield. But I say this, who cares? We don't need him to be Christian McCaffrey. We don't need him catching 8 passes a game. We need him to do what he does best: punish defenders, move the chains, control the clock, and dominate in the red zone. The Cowboys already have guys who can catch the ball and stretch the field. What we didn't have was a guy who can grind out tough yards, especially in close games. Now we do. And for all the talk about wear and tear, let me just say Derrick Henry is not your average 30-year-old running back. He's a physical freak. The guy looks like a linebacker playing running back. He takes care of his body like a pro, and he's shown no signs of slowing down. If anything, he's still trucking along literally and figuratively. This move also sends a clear message to the locker room. It tells the players, especially Dak, that the front office is serious about making a deep postseason run. No more half measures. No more cheap replacements. We're going for it. And it's going to affect the defense too. With Henry eating up clock and wearing down opposing defenses, our own defense stays fresh. Micah Parsons and the boys get more rest, more juice, and more chances to pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. This signing doesn't just impact the offense, it elevates the entire team. And of course, Cowboys Nation is losing their minds. Social media is on fire. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, everywhere you look, fans are posting videos of themselves celebrating. One fan said, "We finally got our missing piece." Another wrote, "It's about time Jerry did something bold." Even some of the former players are chiming in, guys like Des Bryant, Michael Irvin, and DeMarcus, where they're hyped. They know what Henry brings. And even outside of Cowboys Nation, analysts across the league are calling this a potential game-changing move. Some are even saying Dallas is now a top 3 team in the NFC, right up there with the 49ers and Eagles. And I don't think they're wrong. Because if Dak can stay consistent, and the offensive line holds up, and now we've got this human wrecking ball in the backfield, watch out. Let's not forget the leadership aspect, too. Derrick Henry is a quiet warrior. He's not flashy. He doesn't talk trash. But he leads by example. He works harder than anyone, and that's infectious. Younger players are going to follow that energy. They're going to train harder. They're going to raise their game. It's not just about the yards and touchdowns. Henry changes the culture. And for a team like the Cowboys that's been trying to shake off decades of playoff disappointment, that culture shift might be exactly what we've been missing. Now, obviously, it's not all rainbows. There are risks here. It's a lot of money. He's an older back. If the offensive line struggles, or if Henry takes a hit early in the season, we could be in trouble. And yeah, there's always that voice in the back of your head saying, "Don't get your hopes up. It's the Cowboys." But this time, it feels different. It feels like the front office actually learned something from last season. They saw the gap. They saw the missed opportunity. And now, they're correcting it. They're going back and making the call they should have made a year ago. And I have to respect that. So now the question becomes, what's next? Do the Cowboys still look to draft a young running back to pair with Henry and learn under him? Do we keep Rico Dowdle as a change of pace guy? How does this affect Dak's role and play calling? Does McCarthy lean heavier into the run game now that he's got a bulldozer in the backfield? There are still plenty of moving parts, but one thing is certain: this Cowboys team just got a whole lot scarier. And I'm going to say it right now, if Derrick Henry stays healthy and the offense finds a rhythm early, the Dallas Cowboys are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Not dark horses. Not maybe if everything goes right. Real contenders. Because you don't bring in a player like Henry unless you're planning to go all the way. He's not here to play games. He's here to win. And maybe, just maybe, he's the missing piece we've been waiting for since the days of Emmitt Smith. Alright y'all, that's gonna do it for today's video. But before you go, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment down below. Do you think Derrick Henry is the right move for the Cowboys? Will he be the X factor that takes us deep into the playoffs? Or are there still too many questions left unanswered? Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any updates. We've got training camp coverage, film breakdowns, and insider analysis coming your way all season long. Thanks for tuning in.